What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Social Sid here. I am excited to have a very uncomfortable conversation today about intimacy and being intimate with HS. When do we talk about it with our partner? How is it like dating with HS and then being married with HS? Because I think it's just often not talked about. So I'm excited to open up the door for conversation. I'm going to put my own marriage, not necessarily on blast, but I'm going to be speaking to you guys just from experience. And today really opened up my eyes to something that I hadn't really thought about in a long time. And it was uncomfortable and it didn't make me feel very good. And I had to, in that moment, really decide, how am I healthily going to communicate this problem to my husband, and am I even valid in these feelings? You know, I think very often as women, what I'm about to say, a lot of us are facing, and we don't want to admit that we're facing it because it's so normal in this culture and in the world that we live in. But I'm ready to talk about it because the way it made me feel today was not okay. And I think if we can start having a comfortable conversation about pornography. I don't even know if I can say that on YouTube. This is not made for kids. I think that that's how we're gonna move the needle in that realm, in that area. So grab your chips because we're about to get into some tea, okay? So I'm like seriously so nervous, and I don't know why. Like, I didn't really ask Josh for permission to share this story, but I just know God is pulling on my heart to share what happened this morning. If I don't share it today, I'll probably never share it. But so I had a friend a few weeks ago, actually. I was talking to them and they were saying how they caught their spouse watching pornography and it made them feel uncomfortable. And it made them feel uncomfortable because they didn't even like try to engage in intimate time with their partner before, you know, they decided to go the alternate route. And so in that moment, I kind of like felt where they were coming from, but then I was like, I don't know, like Josh has never really been hiding the fact that he does watch it. So like if you go to his Google Safari, it's like right there. He's like that, not give a fuckish about it. But I guess I had never really like looked at it from that perspective that she was sharing with me until she shared it. And so we kind of like talked about it, and the same thing happened to me this morning. And Josh, I was like, are you watching porn? And he was like, yeah. And I can tell he was like embarrassed by it. But I was just like so thrown off by it because like usually he will try, you know, to give me a sign that like, hey, you want to play, or, you know, and it like, that was not this morning. And I immediately got in my head because I was like, wow, like, is it something that I did or didn't do? Is it because like he was helping me with my shower yesterday with like some content for a shower, like not a shower brand, but like body wash. And so he was helping me get some angles and stuff. And I'm like, maybe he saw like my bandages in the shower. And I know that like if I came to those conclusions this morning, then there's other people who are like not even married coming to those conclusions about themselves because they are just in a relationship and they think that it's just a taboo thing that we have to just learn to accept because one, it's so normal in today's culture, and two, I thought, oh well, because I have HS, I have to allow this in my relationship. And then I was like, no wait, fuck that. Like, you know, and I think just communicating, at first I was really upset, I had nothing nice to say, and we like walked through all these motions. And I'm talking to you guys about this because I already talked to my husband about it. I wouldn't just like, it's not gonna be like news to him that I'm pissed off about this on the internet. But I was just like, I was really upset at first. He was like really trying to like, he felt the shame. So can you imagine like after feeling the shame of getting caught, and then he's trying to like overcompensate. Anything that I was doing, he's like, I'll do this, babe. And I'm like, I'm literally already doing it. Bye. You know, and you're like salty, being kind of like passive aggressive, but you're not ready to talk about it yet. I just like wanted to feel mad. I didn't want to talk about it yet. And it wasn't like mad, I'm gonna disrespect you. We really are great about that. Like I had toxic parents who physical abuse, mental, like verbal abuse, all of the things, it was there. And so I do a really great job actually now at, if I'm mad and I don't have anything nice to say, I am gonna shut the fuck up. Like I'm just gonna not say anything at all. So I just kind of like in my own lane, do my own mom duties, you know what I mean? He's off today, so I was like, this will be interesting. Like it's not like he's going to work. We are never the type, we just hardly ever like don't see eye to eye on things. So it's not like he would, even if he worked today, like I would be like sending him a whole letter at work. Like I just don't appreciate. Like no, we very much so communicate very well. I'll talk to you when I'm ready to talk to you about it, and we're gonna hash it out. So we talked about it. He's like, I apologize. I know it was like that's super disrespectful. I felt really bad afterwards. Like he didn't say the words, it's not gonna happen again, because it's like he might just like try better not to get caught, you know what I mean? And that's between him and Jesus at the end of the day. Like that's what I really want him to know, is like it comes from a place of lust, and that's between you and God. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I don't watch porn because I get truly like, I was so convicted to stop watching it. That was before I even got baptized. Like I have not been watching porn, and even when I had a slip up watching it, I felt so just like gross. Not even like after when you usually feel gross, but like the whole thing made me feel ick. And so I just don't do it. I choose to not do it. Now I would prefer my husband to not do it, because it did make me feel some type of way as like my worth and like an insecurity. It like sparked an insecurity inside of me, and I know that's not like his responsibility at the end of the day, you know what I mean? But I just feel like if you're doing something that's making your partner uncomfortable, like maybe you should just like not want to do that. And I feel like he will honor my wishes at the end of the day, or just be really like careful not to get caught. But then again, I'm like, once you get caught, like the repercussions and the consequences of getting caught, I already let him know, like, if I ever catch it again, you will be sleeping on the couch. Then you have to explain to your kids, like, why you're sleeping on the couch. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I've never been a part of this level of marriage. And I just even explained to him, I'm like, I am just in a season of putting my foot down and setting boundaries on things that make me feel uncomfortable. And so I feel apologetic to you if I have led you to believe that this is something that I will tolerate, because going forward it will be no more, you know, like I will not tolerate this. And it was very like big girl conversation, because like I said, he is my best friend. Like he is my yin to my yang. We are like opposites in such great ways, but we are also such like it's just perfect. I love him. I love me some him. And I feel like I've really been hyping him this week, especially. So for him not to come to me, I was really offended. And he's like, no, it genuinely was like the kids were awake. I know how you feel about the kids being awake. I do not play that at all. I don't know. Something about like the kids being awake and trying to get intimate. I'm like, you don't hear them kids. Like, it's an instant turn off for me. I can't get there. I already struggle mentally trying to get into the mood. Like, because living with HS, you have to really have a pep talk with yourself. It's like a system, you know? And sometimes when he wants to be spontaneous and all these things, I'm like, you're throwing off my system, okay? I have to make sure I showered. I have to make sure I smell good. I have to make sure I have to make sure maintenance is in order. And when you are trying to be spontaneous and stuff, like 50 Shades of Grey Christian, I'm like, no, boo-boo, like we gotta stick to the system. But I know that can also put weight on a relationship. I don't want to say it's a burden. I don't want to say anything like that, but like it could get heavy, because when you don't have that spontaneity, when you don't have that, you know, when you don't have the ability to just let your guard down for a moment in the right circumstances to just be available to your partner, they can start to think, hey, do you even like me anymore? Like, do you even love me? Do you like me today? Like, and you don't want your partner to start thinking that, because you don't want to think that like yourself. So we have to often remember how our constant rejection or our systems in place, and those things can look different perspective wise to them, as like maybe it's something wrong with me. We don't know the insecurities that lie deep within them that they're not telling us about either. So I think communicating 100% is just going to be how we have successful marriages and relationships when it comes to living with HS and being intimate, and having that conversation consistently, that like, hey, this like sparked a little something that made me feel uncomfortable, you know. And it's like, maybe the more we learn to put boundaries up and the more we learn ourselves, the people who are meant for us will appear and make themselves apparent, and the people who are not will fall off. And I think that's just a part of life and a part of the game. We just got to learn how to pivot those those talks, like those shitty times, you know, like when you're going through the breakup, when you're feeling like it's impossible to keep dating with HS because you don't know how much of yourself you can keep giving to somebody else, and it's like you're getting nothing in return. Believe me, I've been there, I've been there, I've been there, I've been there. But I just want you to know that you don't have to settle. I don't want you to feel like, hey, you know, they've never said nothing negative about my scars, but they don't make me feel the best, you know? Don't settle. Don't settle just because you feel like, you know, like they haven't they kind of like it. They don't say, I don't want to say like they don't say anything negative about it. You don't want to be with anybody who says anything negative about your HS or throws it in your face. I dated a very toxic person before Josh, and he was like, would just like throw it in my face that I was gross and disgusting. So I really knew when he would do that, like, you are not the person for me, because like the scars ain't going nowhere, boo boo. If you're gonna keep throwing this in my face, like that's a consistent attack on my character and my confidence, and I don't want to be with somebody who tears me down like that. So if you have a person like that, like, yeah, please go find somebody else. But I think settling also looks like playing it safe. And you don't want to play it safe just because you have HS. I dare you to dream. I dare you to dream that you can have a healthy, amazing relationship. I dare you to dream that you can wear the colors that you want to wear again. I dare you to dream that you can have a flare-free day, a flare-free week. You know, I dare you to dream that you can have an amazing intimate life, that you can feel the pleasure that comes from what is supposed to be sex. You know, I feel like it's a work in progress, and we're consistently going to have to find that desire within, but we should be proud of the fact that we are even having the conversation. You know, so many people living with HS are shutting down completely their intimate life because they are feeling so much shame. And I think if we can just learn what it looks like to have the conversation when we feel comfortable before you're going all the way with somebody, the better off we're going to be, and the better chances your relationship has at thriving because you had that conversation. So what that would look like for me, I can say, like, I'm not, obviously, right, I'm not in the dating scene, but from prior experience and knowing that there was a time that I didn't disclose to somebody that I had HS, and it was really in that season of life where it was picking up on how many scars and things, flares that I was dealing with on my butt cheeks. I can understand from the point of view to the person that I was being intimate with what it looked like. We're taught in sex ed at whatever age, right, that like bumps and boils and things in that area are like not normal, and we need to steer clear of them and make sure you get tested and yada yada yada, right? And safe sex is great sex, and those things are all true. You want to make sure that, like, if you're dealing with bumps and boils in that region of that area, that you're getting that checked out, that you're getting tested consistently if you are sexually active. And I do not care if you're raw dogging it or condom every time, like, you should just still be being safe, because you just never know. And I can understand when we're not disclosing that, like, hey, listen, I have some scarring back there, but like, it's not an STD. This is an auto-inflammatory disease. This is a skin condition. It could be genetic. I had no parts in this. Like, it is not my fault that I have this, but it's not contagious, and I still like to have a really good time. You know, like, if we want to still like keep that freaky side of it, you know what I mean? And like, the way that they react to our truth is not our responsibility. And I think if we understand that 100% to our core, we are going to be okay with whichever way that goes. So having the conversation before you get intimate is going to be our best shot at not only spreading awareness, making sure the right information is being put out there to other people who are obviously being intimate, right? And I feel like it's going to give the survival rate of your relationship like better chances, 100%. So let's start disclosing. I know it's uncomfortable, but you have nothing to feel ashamed of. Like I have said time and time again, HS is simply not your fault, and we don't have a reason to keep isolating ourselves and diminishing our sex life and our relationships because we think we're not worthy of love, of having an amazing time, of feeling an orgasm, of being pleased, of having pleasure, right? We deserve those things too. And those scars on your body, the smell that you think leaves, any of the things, the drainage, like the bandages, all of it, right? We feel like that's such a valid reason for somebody to think that we are disgusting, but you are not. You are not disgusting. You are not gross. You are beautiful. You are amazing. You are resilient. You are strong. You are one of the strongest people that I know, and you deserve to be loved back. You deserve to feel love. And so please don't count yourself out. Please let go of the thoughts that you're undeserving of love because of your HS, because it is the biggest lie that the enemy is putting into your mind, and we've got to change that. And so I hope that by me sharing my vulnerabilities here with you today, that you're able to take that away from this video and start sparking conversation about HS and spreading the right information. And if you have any question on where to gather that information, hsconnect.org is literally the best resource for patients on how to have conversations, how to inform themselves, yourself or your caregiver or anybody who wants to know the correct information going out about hidradenitis suppurativa. They are the perfect resource. So I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for tuning into this video. I think just me being able to even just sit in this space and talk about my genuine emotions and my feelings and how we can move forward, right? With our day and feel them, and that's all. Like, I just want to create a space to feel our feelings, and if we have to have another conversation about this because we're not done, then we'll do that. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it if we do. If you have any recommendations on what you want to hear next, please don't forget to put it in the comment section. But I love you guys, and until next time, I hope you are feeling great, as great as you can. Bye.